Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Locked On Bulls. On today's episode, we'll talk about Andre Drummond saying he will go down as the best rebounder of all time if he's not already that. We'll measure him up, say who we think are the best rebounders in the history of the NBA. We'll also be going over the national televised game tier list. What teams have more or less games nationally televised than the Chicago Bulls, and we'll see where we think the Bulls should be on that. And then lastly, we're going to be playing a game. I got trivia for Pat. He doesn't know what it is. We'll get into all that and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of Locked On Bulls. That's Pat, the designer, host, and creator of the Windy City Breeze. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central, and thank you for making us your first listen every day. Locked On Bulls is a member of the Locked On Podcast Network, and we're jumping right in. Hey, bro, Andre Drummond, direct quote, I'll go down as the best rebounder ever, if not already. There's never been a better rebounder in NBA history. I think I'm already there. I'm on my way. By the time I retire, I'll go down as the best rebounder of all time. What do you listen? I love confidence, especially when they're on my team, bro. But that is a big statement. You
got the numbers already. Throw the numbers at me.
So Andre Drummond, as of right now, he's led the league in rebounding three times in a row. He did it again earlier than that. So there's been a bunch of times he's led the NBA in rebounding. He's averaged 13.3 rebounds per game throughout his career. Right now, he ranks 10th all time in 46th in total rebounds and 10th in rebounds per game. And he's 29 years old.
You're 10 years in the game, and I don't think he'll ever get a starting opportunity again for him to average enough, right? Like, because you think, right, like, even if he averages 10 a game, the more seasons he plays that he averages 10, it's going to bring his overall average down. And I don't think he's going to get put in a position where he's going to be starting, where he'll be able to, I still do think he can average 13 to 15 rebounds a game.
Yeah, he can. But
I don't think the talent part of it is the issue, but when you're talking about greatest rebounders of all time, right, you've at least got to be, I guess, is top 10 in the picture? You've at least, to me, got to be in the picture.
He's in the top 10. So
is top 10 in the picture? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Yes, he's one of the 10 greatest rebounders of all time. I agree with that. But, like, when you're talking about I'm going to finish as the greatest, like, where's the avenue that gets him to that?
Yeah, so if you look at the top 10, it's Wilt, Bill Russell, Bob Pettit, Jerry Lucas, Nate Thurmond, Wes Unseld, Walt Bellamy, David Cowens, Elgin Baylor, and Andre Drummond, and Dennis Rodman right below.
I mean, he's 12 years in the league?
Yeah.
He's still under 10,000 rebounds.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see him being able to get, the only way, right, that he would be able to get there for me is if he did the most average per game, and Wilt's average per game for his career is what?
Give me 1 second.
18?
Per game, Wilt is do you want to take a guess at what it is?
I would guess he averaged 50, so that's gonna boost it a lot. So I would guess 20 rebounds a game.
22.89 rebounds.
There's no chance you finish as the greatest rebounder of all time. Now, here's the thing, right? The question mark comes in again. Was Wilt having to do that every night versus guys his size? Of course,
that's a big chance. Yeah,
there can always be a debate around it, right? But at the end of the day, you have to at least be close to that to make that argument. And Andre Drummond's what, 13 for his career?
Career-wise, let me go back to the numbers. Give me 1 second. Career-wise, he's 46th in total rebounds.
No, I'm saying average per game.
Per game, he's 10th. He's 10th per game. He's in the top 10.
What's his average now? 13 rebounds.
Oh, the number. Sorry, 13.26.
You're not going the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Last season with the Sixers, you averaged 8. The season with the Nets, right? In a starting role with the Nets, he averaged 10.
Yeah.
And again, I think he has the ability to do it. Remember, this is a dude on the Pistons that was averaging where's his rebound? 15.8 rebounds a game, 15, 16, multiple seasons in a row. The ability is there, but the thing that you look at is he going to continue to go in the right direction to where he can get 15 rebounds a game? And I just don't think this NBA is set up for him to be a starter unless he adds something massive to his offensive game.
It's not happening.
And it's
Andre
not
Drummond's
happening.
no longer a starter in the NBA.
Yeah.
The NBA's moved away from that. Now he's going to have great production, and I love Andre Drummond and what he's going to bring to this team. But we got to pump our brakes a little bit. When you say the greatest of all time, he would have to be at least 11 to 12,000 right now for that to even be a conversation. At that point, that will put him. If let's just say he had 12,000 even, that would put him at 23rd, right behind Charles Oakley and above Dennis Rodman. If he had 12,000, he's not. He may not get there.
Right. I don't even think you can say that. Well, here's the thing. I think he'll get there. And the funny thing about him is, right, like the longevity of his career, he might get there just based on that. But dog, when you're talking about rebounds per game, and again, this is versus more regular size people, not really regular size, they still was NBA players, but like Wilt versus people that were his size, there weren't as many in the league. But he starts his first 5 years of his career, 27 rebounds, 25, 24, 22. That's 5 years.
Yeah.
He's already in games played, I believe, if I did that math right in my head real quick, somebody that actually does math, let me know. He already, with 5 years in his career, just with the Warriors, has more rebounds than Andre Drummond has right now.
Wow.
If I did that math, I might have did that math horribly wrong, but I believe in just his time with the Warriors, he's out-rebounded Andre Drummond already.
So he's definitely going to pass. He's probably going to pass 11 this season. Like looking at what his averages are and how many rebounds he usually gets per season, he's probably good for about 600 rebounds this season. So he's going to be close to getting into close to 1,100. If he plays another 5 years, and even if he can get between 400 to 500 rebounds over those next 5 years, which would put him at 34 years old, which is pretty for a big man. That's a pretty lengthy career. He'll probably get to 12. He'll get to 12, but that's about it. Well, go ahead.
No, so I'm laughing. Because first off, shout out StatMuse, because I didn't want to be doing I just did the math, and I was like, I might be dumb. But in his 6-year career with the San Francisco Warriors, he got 10,768 rebounds. You got no shot. Oh, by the way, he played another 10 years. You got no shot.
Yeah,
and it's the greatest, right? If you say one of, I'm right there with you.
Throw one of in there. Throw one of in there. It fixes the whole statement. I feel
Andre Drummond's one of the greatest rebounders in NBA history.
Yes.
That is he. Now this might be a tough statement. This might be a little too hot takey, but let's see. He probably could make the Hall of Fame off of rebound numbers alone by the end of his career.
That is definitely a hot statement.
If he plays, because he's 29 now, right? If he plays to like 34, 35-ish, you're thinking you're adding in another 5,000 to 6,000 rebounds in there. If he's getting close.
Not 5,000 to 6,000. You got to think about it, bro. Like,
he got 9 in 10 years, basically.
Yeah.
But he was averaging 15 a game at one point.
Exactly. And that was the minutes he was playing. I don't think he can. I think at the most, Andre Drummond is looking at about 12,000 rebounds for a career.
Depends on games played. We also have to take into account as well that Andre missed a good chunk of games in his time in Detroit.
You got to think about it. If he plays 50 games per season over the next 5 years, and what he averages is 9.5 to 10 rebounds per game. That's close to 500 rebounds a season. So
yeah,
I mean,
So he would be at 11 in 4 years, basically. Yeah, he's probably going to finish out about 12.
He's probably going to cap out 12, 13,000, which would then put him in the right outside the top 15. Shaq is at 15th with 13,099.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can't. I love you, Dre. I love you. I disliked you in Detroit because you're a great rebounder and you can put the ball in the bucket. I thought you were a great asset in Cleveland. I thought you were the piece that if you were still on Philly, Joel Embiid is a lot better player. But welcome to Chicago, my boy. You got the cap of the day.
There you go.
Hey, I just created that right there. Cap of the day goes to Andre Drummond on that one.
All right, man. We go next up.
Into the show. What's the cap of the day?
Next up, we're going to talk more about the nationally televised games. This time for the NBA as a whole. But first, I got to talk to you guys about Rocket Money. If you keep on saying you need to make a budget but never do it, if somehow you keep missing credit card payments, if you're afraid to look at your bank statements, then it's time to take back control over your financial life. Meet Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, our favorite financial app. Sick of managing your finances with buggy spreadsheets or have an inbox overflowing with bills or simply afraid of checking your bank statement? Then it's time to take back control of your financial life with Rocket Money, formerly Truebill. So why did Truebill change his name to Rocket Money? Well, tell you what we heard. Truebill, now backed by Rocket Companies, has grown from a bill management app into a full-on personal finance empowerment tool that helps over 3.4 million people with budgeting, lower bills, canceling subscriptions, and more, saving each of their members on average $700 per year. And with all that growth comes the next evolution in Truebill's story, a new name. Bottom line, Rocket Money is everything I've loved about Truebill, but with a fresh look and feel. Start canceling your unused subscriptions and save money at rocketmoney.com/LockedOnNBA. That's rocketmoney.com/LockedOnNBA, or download the app from the App Store or Google Play. All right, Pat. So the Bulls have way more nationally televised games than what they had last season. Let's be clear here. Let's appreciate that. But it starts getting a little bit more interesting when you start looking at where they rank amongst other teams with nationally televised games. Now, the list that we have here does not take into account NBA TV. This is just ESPN, ABC, and TNT.
I love that we just disrespecting NBA TV.
I mean, it's because you have to. It's not really. It's nationally televised, but it's not really nationally televised. Like, because it's not just easily accessible. But with that being said, Pat, who do you think has the most nationally televised games this season?
Warriors.
With how many? What number do you think that is?
I'm cheating because we did this on Locked On NBA. I believe they have 30 nationally televised games.
30.
Yeah.
Who's next after that?
The Lakers, unfortunately, with 27.
With 28. No, 27. 28. Okay. I think it's 28. It's 28. All right, but so let's look at this as tiers, right? So let's look at the teams that have between 0 and 10 nationally televised games. So all with one nationally televised game is the Thunder, Pacers, Magic, Utah Jazz, Detroit Pistons, Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs, and the Sacramento Kings. I feel like that's fair, considering where all those teams are. I do think that Detroit Pistons has a good chance to be a league pass team because of how young that core is, and they can make. I think Detroit is going to be one of those teams that while they may not win a lot of games, they're going to make a lot of games tight, and they're going to lose a lot of games down the stretch. But yeah, I really do like the makeup of that team. Next up from that, we have the Wizards, Hornets, Trailblazers, the Raptors, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, all with still less than 10 games. They have between 3 to 5 nationally televised games. Well, here's where we get into where the Bulls are. So the Atlanta Hawks have 9 nationally televised games, but then you get to the Bulls and the Timberwolves that both have 10. Again, this is not counting NBA TV. Then you have the Miami Heat and the New Orleans Pelicans with 11. Then you have the New York Knicks and Brooklyn Nets there with 12. The Denver Nuggets with 13. The Memphis Grizzlies with 18. And then the Los Angeles Clippers with 20. What do you think about that tier, where the Bulls are? That's the tier that the Bulls are. Do you feel like that? I can look at it that, and first of all, the fact that the two-time MVP only has 18 nationally televised games is a little crazy to me. So let's honor that as well. But the fact that the Nets and the Knicks have more than the Bulls is a little bit bothersome to me.
I agree with you, right? Because also it's not even just the market thing at that point, right? It's also, hey, we're better. Like, we're a better team than the New York Knicks are. Now, I get it, right? Because the Knicks have the shiny new toy. They've got Jalen Brunson. There might even be an anticipation that Donovan Mitchell does end up in a Knicks jersey. You're going to want to see that. You're going to want to see what that looks like. The problem is, right, I think we all kind of are in the same mindset that that's not going to work nearly as well as they think it will. So then you got to watch 13 games of the Knicks trying to figure that mess out.
Yeah.
But the thing for me is, right, like, I'm not super upset for two reasons that the Bulls don't have nearly as many national TV games as maybe some of these other teams do. I mean, the Lakers, I get, that's the one that kind of irritates me, but I think every team underneath that has the same irritation. But for me, right, one, the Bulls are terrible on national TV last year. So as few of them as we can get. Unless we come out and like win 10. If we win 10 of them, then yeah, let's double it up next season. Or we win 5 of them, yeah, I mean, let's double it up.
If the Bulls come out, they may get flexed into some nationally televised games too. So
exactly, and we saw that as well, right? Because at the end of the season, right, all of a sudden you get a Lakers-Knicks game, and they both got 22 wins. There's going to be somebody getting flexed out here. But the other reason for me is that I want to see the growth. I want this team to grow into that role, and I'm not saying I'm nervous about this season, but I really want to make sure that we're not doing a Nick Shadig here in year 2 of this.
Yeah, I feel
you know what I mean? Like, I'm not as worried about it because I believe that Billy Donovan is a good head coach. I believe that the players we have are good players. I think that healthy, like you said, a straight bar. A healthy, while the East got better, they're not better than a healthy Bulls team. And so I think the Bulls will compete a lot better if they're a healthy team coming into the season. But I do want to make sure. And you don't want to have 22 national TV games and all of a sudden you looking at your team and you like, wow, this ain't what we thought we was running back here. This ain't the same team that we thought we was getting in year 2 of this.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, it is up to the Bulls, I think, to perform better on national TV way better than they did last season. Yeah. As much as I would have loved to see us get back to what we were like the Derrick Rose era, where literally I feel like we had like 25 nationally televised games every season, if not more. I remember at one point it was like I didn't even have to pay for League Pass because the Bulls are almost always on TV. Like I just didn't even have to pay for it.
I mean, what was the stat you dropped on the Bulls on national TV back then too?
Oh, the Bulls being undefeated on TNT at home, like
all time.
That's crazy.
All time.
That's crazy, bro. That's a wild stat, bro. They're like 20-0 on home games on TNT.
So like here's the thing, right? When you think about it from a business standpoint as well, you have to think about, okay, the problem was we didn't even compete on national TV last year. National TV last year was what, the second Warriors-Bulls matchup? Wasn't that an ESPN game or something like that?
Yeah, and I remember that because that's the same game that Zach LaVine literally played like a minute and a half, and then the knee came in. It was like, come on, a national TV.
And literally we got our heads kicked in the rest of the way. I think we lost by 20 plus on that.
Yeah.
You know, so like I get it from an NBA standpoint of like, listen, we think this team is good. We think this team is making steps in the right direction. We're glad that the Chicago market is back. But we don't want to put a team on here that's just going to keep getting their heads kicked in every time we put them up against tough competition on national TV.
Yeah. Now, and I mean, so let's talk about this. What are some things that would have to happen that we think for the Bulls to get flexed into some games on national TV early? I would say if DeMar DeRozan has a repeat of what he did last season, that's going to be the first thing in the door. And if Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan are what they were before Zach's thumb injury, where they really were a 1A, 1B, like just both battling back and forth, and the Bulls are playing that exciting brand of basketball where they're getting out in transition, Lonzo was throwing lobs through people's hands and things like that, that's a team that's going to get you a couple of flex games over the course of the season.
Well, I think you have to think back too, right? Like when Lonzo was healthy and even without Patrick Williams, right? The Chicago Bulls are one of the best offensive and defensive teams in the NBA until the injuries started piling up. So you're talking about a team that was, I mean, we were right behind the Miami Heat as far as defense in the Eastern Conference. We were literally a defensive juggernaut at the beginning of the season until pieces started going down. So if you're in that position, right, they're going to want to see. And the NBA kind of does it, right? Like the market does play into it, but Chicago's big enough of a market that if the Knicks are bad, I don't know about the Lakers tough because it's LeBron. It's like the market and then it's LeBron.
It doesn't matter. The Lakers can go 0-40 and they still probably aren't going to.
They're going to have their 27.
Yeah.
But I think if you get a matchup right, like say, like we got flex this year with Milwaukee, right? After the Grayson Allen stuff happened.
Yeah.
So, like, it's also about the storylines that go into it. So I think if the Bulls are one of the better offensive and defensive teams, at least top 5 on that side when healthy, and they return as the team that we thought they were, the NBA is going to say, no, we want to put them on TV because not only are they young, not only are they running, not only do they have DeMar DeRozan putting up big numbers, but they're also creating a defensive style of game, which usually creates animosity in a game because good defense is usually pretty physical. And that's the kind of games that the NBA wants on national TV.
There you go. And that's can you hear that?
That was a train on your end?
Yeah.
Bro, that was so loud, I thought it was here. Legitimately, because it's a train near me, I thought the train was here, and I was about to ask you, could you hear that? What are you at the station? Is your garage the station? Like,
no, but it's behind there. It goes behind there.
Leave it in. Let's keep it running.
But yeah, I agree with you. Like, I think the Bulls are going to get flex some, and it's up to them to perform it, and we'll see if they live up to that. But let's get into the last topic for today. A trivia game. Just have some fun to start off the week. So we're playing dun 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 dun. Hold on, let me get the music. We're playing Where Are They Now? And we're playing this with members of the Chicago Bulls during the GarPax era.
Oh, no.
I've taken
we probably talked about all of these.
Yeah, I've taken the PTSD moments and I've turned it into a game. That's what we're doing here. Listen, that's therapy helps, man. You take PTSD and you turn it on the other side into something fun. So first up, we're gonna play this one. Antonio Blakeney. Where is he now? Pat, where's Antonio Blakeney?
Oh, man, we have looked this up. Antonio Blakeney is he in Israel? He was overseas. I know that. Is he in Israel, I think? In the Israeli league?
So that I'll give you the answer that he's back. He's playing in Israel and China. He's going back and forth between there.
Okay. I'm having half a point in there. We got to get a ding in it.
All right. This one's a little we're gonna mix it up here. First off, next up is Chandler Hutchinson, but not with that. I want you to give me the total number of minutes Chandler Hutchinson has played in NBA games since he left the Chicago Bulls.
Chandler Hutchinson, I believe, is on the Warriors G League team.
That is correct.
Hey!
How many minutes of NBA basketball has he played?
Chandler Hutchinson has probably played 32 minutes of NBA basketball since he's left, because I feel like he was getting in on some end of game stuff in Washington, and I guarantee he hasn't played a minute since then.
22 total minutes. I told you before, you know your stuff. Chris Dunn, where is he now, and how many games has he played since he left Chicago?
Chris Dunn. He's got to be on a G League. He was on a couple 10 days last year. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know if he re-signed with a G League. I'll say Washington's G League team.
He has played in the G League. Don't know exactly what team. Last NBA team he played for was Portland. But okay, how many total games has he played?
Averaged like 3 steals a game there too, didn't he?
Yeah. He's still getting steals. He just stole the ball just now from somebody. How many total games has he played since he left Chicago?
15.
Close. You are almost hitting these. You are 17 total games played. That's crazy. Yeah. Keep in mind, the Bulls almost traded Jimmy Butler straight up for Chris Dunn the year before they actually traded for him. Oh my God, bro. That's crazy, right?
They loved Chris Dunn. I remember when he was getting drafted, the Bulls loved Chris Dunn. I thought he was going to be a Bull.
Yeah, I did too. And then you remember after we like the first season that we got him, right? I think it was it had to be after he broke his face. Or was it before? He went on, I remember it was a 5-game stretch in which he averaged like 20 and 10 over 5 games. And I was convinced. I was like, we got it. We got our point guard. That's it. We finally got it. He's putting it together. And then I think he scored maybe a total of 20 points the rest of his career with the Chicago Bulls after that.
The tough part was, right, like he could play, but he would have like moments where he was making the right basketball decision and his game would be phenomenal. And then he would have moments where he was like, yeah, I want to take shots like I'm Kobe.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, like that's not me like picking a player.
What would have helped Chris Dunn?
Shimmy, turn around, and I'll be like, dude, you're not Kobe Bryant, bro. Like you ain't. Do you work? What Patrick Ewing say? Do you work on that shot? When do you work on that shot? A one-legged from the corner turn around.
Hilarious. All right, we're gonna flip this now. Out of the players that GarPax got rid of, who do you consider to be the biggest success story? So we're gonna go off. Here's your options here: Bobby Portis, Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter Jr., and Cameron Payne.
Well, are you saying out of the players that AK got rid of?
I'm sorry, not AK. That left, that were here during the GarPax era that are no longer Chicago.
That are no longer here. Okay, yeah. Okay. The bet it's got to be Bobby, right? I mean, Bobby's a champion. I guess Otto Porter kind of, but not really. Bobby's been a major contributor in season. Bobby's a major part of their offense. Bobby's a major focal point for them. Wendell's down there. Yeah, Wendell's playing okay. But I mean, he's on a team that's winning 11 games a year, so who cares? And who else did you say?
Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter Jr., and Cameron Payne. The fact that 3 of those players have won titles. 3 of them have won titles. No, Cameron Payne didn't win a title. He made it to the finals, but he didn't win one. You're right. 2 out of those, but 3 of those players made it to the NBA finals.
3 out of those players made the NBA finals, and 2 of them won them. Yeah. Bobby's got to be the best. Campaign is back to being Campaign.
That is true. He did have a steep fall off last season.
He still looks like a better basketball player. I don't take away him leaving and coming back to the NBA. He looks like a much better poised point guard and a better basketball player, but he's back to being Campaign.
This is true.
Wendell's not even in the picture. Like you ain't been in the playoffs.
Wendell ain't won nothing. I would say Bobby too. It has to be Bobby, right? When you just look at it, like what Bobby did, yeah, he it took him a while to find his money, right? But him going to Milwaukee, going there because he did feel he could help them, it coming to fruition, him helping them win the title. Now he finally got his money. Keep in mind, y'all, they offered him the contract. He turned the contract down. That's why they traded him. Now it took him 5 years almost to get the money that they offered him. So he took the long route to it, but along that route, he became a better player. He became a more consistent player on both sides of the ball, and he won an NBA championship, and he got his money.
Was it on here? I think it was on the Breeze. We talked about this, right? Where we said that one of the guys that I know pretty well, one of my friends, I call him that, said that Bobby Portis, with his mentality, his attitude, and his ability to score on both sides of the ball. Keep in mind, he's a Bucks fan.
Yeah.
That his contribution to what Milwaukee wants to do is similar to KG going to Boston. And on the surface, it sounds like you're an idiot. That's KG. That's him going to Boston. They won a championship. And then like you start to go through the stuff and you're like, okay, hold on now. Let me think about this.
And I understand that, like, yeah, the tier of it is a little bit less, but as far as you're just judging the impact of it, I would have to say that it is similar. Like you look in, Bobby does all the dirty work for that team, and then when they need somebody to come in and be a scorer, when maybe Middleton is being very mid in part of his name, like Bobby Portis steps up and he provides that for the Bucks. He provides intensity. He provides, like, he changes the energy of that team in some games, and that energy alone they ride out. So you know what? I would have to agree with that.
Here's where it gets interesting. Kevin Garnett, championship year was 08, right?
It's
09. 08 or 09?
That went 08.
Oh,
It
wait.
would have been the year before
Kobe won 09.
Derrick Rose. Yeah.
Kobe won in 09. 15.8. This is Kevin Garnett. 15.8 on 31 minutes a game. Only played 57 games that season. Was that a shortened season? That might have been a short season.
That was the lockout. No, the lockout season was the season Derrick Rose tore his ACL. So no, that wouldn't have been a lockout season.
So 15.8, 8 rebounds a game. Basically wasn't shooting threes, but shot at 50% from the field. Bobby Portis, championship season. 14.6, 9 rebounds a game, 47% from the field. 39% from three when Kevin Garnett was giving you 20%, but he wasn't taking it.
Bro, you read the 08-09 season. That was not the championship season.
Okay.
The championship season was 07-08. And he had even better. In that season, 18.8 points per game, 9.2 rebounds per game. I get what you're saying though. But yeah.
So. But they went to the finals both years. That's what it is. They went finals back to back, right?
No, they didn't, because the 08-09 season was the season that and that was the season that we faced them in the first round of the playoffs.
Yep. You're right. No. So it was interesting to me, right, when you first hear it and talking about like which Bull has gone the furthest since then. Like Kevin Garnett always was like, bro, that's the dude. He got the energy, he's got the mindset, he's gonna intimidate you out of your game. And when he said Bobby Portis, I was like, Cap. And then you start to run down and you like, I still can't put him in the same conversation as Kev because of Kev's whole career.
Mm-hmm.
And Kev could lead a team by himself. But when you talk about impact to a championship team, it's not a bad take.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great impact on that Milwaukee Bucks team, and nobody can really take that away from him. Bobby Portis he's had a heck of a career, man, and it's not over yet. It's not anywhere close to being over. Bobby Portis is going to be playing a lot longer in the NBA, all things considered. And yeah, hey, shout out to Bobby Portis, 27 years old, so he got a long career ahead.
8 years in the NBA only.
That's crazy, man.
He's only been in the NBA 8 years. That's how long the GarPax era feels. It wasn't that long ago we drafted Paul Zipser. Let's get out of here before we go down.
Come on, man. You see, you about to send us down PTSD lane again, man. Go ahead and send us home, brother.
Hey, man, let's get up out of here, man. Appreciate you guys for showing so much love. Ready to rock with y'all for a whole nother week. Follow me on everything at Pat the Designer, and make sure you follow us both on everything at Locked On Bulls. If you checked out our Twitter, you would see Pat Will is out here looking like he's trying to have a little breakout season out here.
Yeah, man. Like the old man on the corner. We'll see. We'll see about that. Y'all can follow me at CEO Haize, CEO Haize. And thank you for making Locked On your first listen every day. Now for your second listen, go and check on Locked On NBA show, where all the latest news, rumors, and developments are broken down by the Locked On experts in 30 minutes or less. You can get them wherever you get your podcast. But for Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This is Locked On Bulls, and we out, y'all. Peace.